662 meters deep. Drop the Eiffel Tower inside it, the tip wouldn't reach the rim. That single measurement puts Xiaozhai Tiankeng in a category almost nothing else on Earth occupies. And yet, the outside world didn't know it existed until 1994. In the next few minutes, you'll see how this place formed, what's living at the bottom of it, and why the part nobody talks about isn't the depth, it's the staircase someone built inside it. Xiaozhai Tiankeng sits in Chongqing, China. Its full dimensions, 626 meters long, 537 meters wide, and between 511 and 662 meters deep. Walls dropping almost perfectly vertical. The deepest point is taller than two Empire State Buildings stacked on top of each other. But the shape is what makes it genuinely strange. This isn't a simple bowl. Xiaozhai Tiankeng has a double-nested structure, an upper bowl 320 meters deep and a lower bowl 342 meters deep, connected by a sloping ledge of soil trapped in the surrounding limestone. Stand at the rim and you're not looking straight down to the bottom. You're looking into one abyss that opens into another. The name itself tells you something the official record doesn't. Xiaozhai refers to a small village that once sat near the rim. Tiankeng is a regional term used in this part of China for massive cursed sinkholes. It translates as heavenly pit. The language already existed because the people already knew. Fengji County locals had been living alongside this place for centuries. What happened in 1994 was not discovery. It was introduction. British explorers surveying the underground cave system below the sinkhole brought it to the attention of the wider scientific and geographic world. For Western cartographers and record keepers, it was new. For the families who had farmed near its rim for generations, it was simply the pit at the edge of the village. Enormous, permanent, and entirely ordinary in the way that only ancient things become ordinary. This gap between local knowledge and formal recognition runs through the entire history of geography. The world's most dramatic natural features are rarely found. They are formally acknowledged, sometimes centuries late. The mechanics behind its formation are equally dramatic. Beneath the sinkhole runs the Defeng cave system, carved out over millennia by a powerful underground river that still flows there today. As that river eroded the limestone from below, the ceiling eventually became too thin to support itself. It collapsed inward, not once, but in stages. That's why the nested structure exists at all. Cold statement of fact. The bottom of Xiaozhai Tiankeng is not dead. More than 1,200 plant species have been recorded inside it. The depth and vertical walls create a sealed climate, protected from wind, accumulating moisture, catching light at certain angles that functions almost like a greenhouse the size of a small city. Ancient trees grow at the base. Ferns colonize the ledge between the two bowls. Species that have disappeared from the surrounding landscape still thrive here, undisturbed, because nothing and no one could easily reach them. And then there is the clouded leopard. The clouded leopard is one of the most elusive wildcats in Asia, a medium-sized predator rarely photographed in the wild, capable of descending trees headfirst. Evidence suggests clouded leopards inhabit the sinkhole ecosystem. What that means in practice is that a functioning predator, prey food chain, exists at the bottom of a hole so deep that on overcast days you cannot see the floor from the rim. The sinkhole didn't just preserve plants, it preserved the things that eat them. This is what separates Xiaozhai Tiankeng from other geography world records. It isn't just the largest or the deepest. It is ecologically isolated in a way almost no other place on Earth is, a vertical island, surrounded not by water, but by hundreds of meters of open air. Now, for the detail that gets left out of almost every headline, someone built a 2,800-step staircase inside it. To make this place accessible to visitors, workers descended into a vertical pit, the depth of 2 stacked skyscrapers, and installed a staircase long enough that climbing it would leave most people unable to walk the next morning. The underground river that carved this entire structure can be heard before it can be seen on the descent, a reminder that the force that built this place is still at work, still dissolving limestone millimeter by millimeter beneath your feet. Most visitors reportedly do not attempt the full descent and return in a single trip. That detail alone tells you something the dimensions cannot. Xiaozhai Tiankeng is back in global conversations. And the reason matters. Ecologically isolated environments like this one are increasingly rare. The 1,200 plus plant species at the bottom, the clouded leopard, the ancient trees on the ledge, these aren't curiosities. They are a record of what biodiversity looks like when human activity simply cannot reach it. The sinkhole functioned as an accidental preserve for centuries before anyone with a clipboard arrived to document it. The Defeng cave system beneath it is still active. The river is still moving. The limestone is still dissolving. This place is not finished forming, which means the scientific questions it raises are not finished either. What else is living down there that hasn't been catalogued? What does a fully sealed ecosystem, untouched for centuries, tell researchers about resilience and adaptation? The answers are still being worked out. 662 meters deep, 1,200 plant species, a clouded leopard at the bottom of a vertical cliff, and a 2,800 step staircase that had no business being built. Xiaozhai Tiankeng earned its world record. But the record is almost beside the point. What this place actually is, a sealed world that formed independently, preserved species that vanished elsewhere, and harbored a functioning ecosystem while the village above it went about ordinary life for centuries. That's the story the numbers can't capture. The locals just called it the pit at the edge of the village. The outside world needed explorers and surveys and formal recognition to understand what it was looking at. Both perspectives are true. Only one of them required a 2,800 step staircase to get there. If you want more stories like this, subscribe and find the full article at factstormhub.com.